away from that, the Ghana Police Service is condemning the increasing use of firearms at public gatherings, including derbas, traditional festivals, and other social events. In a press briefing earlier today, the service described the trend as dangerous and unlawful, cautioning that such acts threaten public safety and the peace of communities. The police say they will not hesitate to arrest and prosecute individuals or groups found displaying or discharging weapons during public events. The concerns follow several recent incidents involving traditional celebrations where firearms were brandished or fired into crowds, putting lives at risk, with the most recent leading to the death of a student in Bimbila. Superintendent Juliana Obeng is head of public affairs at the Ghana Police Service.
There are rules and regulations surrounding possession and the use of firearms, and anybody who's come to the police to request or to get one has thoroughly gone through that process. Having said that, I think that we all should be part in engaging the general public on the use, the education, on the use of firearms and the risk involved if you are not in lawful possession of it. Thank you. Well, thank you. So with reference to the upcoming Homo War, there's a team that's been set up made up of officers from the regional command and members of the traditional council. And so we are looking forward to coming together to work as a team to make sure that we do not have any issue of assault during, before, and then after the Homo War Festival. So yes, we are very much aware of the Homo War Festival that's almost started. And we can assure the general public through your medium that there will be adequate security for the celebration.
Meanwhile, Gilbert Awuni, a key suspect in the death of Queen Mother Pearl Nana Dudoa and the injury of another, has been apprehended by the service.
At about 7 p.m. on the day of the incident, some individuals armed with locally manufactured weapons began firing indiscriminately. One of the shooters, later identified as Gilbert Awuni alias Starboy, allegedly aimed and fired his weapon at close range, striking Pearl Na Dudoa Witekar, 33-year-old queen mother of Papase, killing her instantly. Another victim, Priscilla Na Ayele, who is 38 years and a trader, was also shot in the chest and is on admission at the University of Ghana Medical Center, thankfully in a stable condition. Further details has established that the suspects had consumed sobolo, which we suspect was laced with some narcotic substances at the ceremony before the incident happened. Now, after realizing that he had committed the crime, that is Starboy, he fled the scene on a motorbike with his friend known as Oxygen and sought refuge in Asokore, a suburb in the Ashanti region. Acting on intelligence from the Accra Regional Police Intelligence Team, a team was dispatched and moved swiftly to Asokore, where we arrested Gilbert Awuni alias Starboy. He's 21 years and an Okada rider and a resident of Denchwa here in Accra. He has confessed to the crime during interrogation that he fired the weapon in display under the influence of alcohol and fled the scene thereafter. Efforts are underway to recover the firearm which he claimed to have discarded after the incident.
It was built for about 700 inmates, but today thousands are crammed inside the Nsawam medium security prison. The clogged justice system, endless remand cases, and inmates without legal support. Joy News' Stephen Mensah takes us behind the walls where hope is running out and justice feels like a distant dream.
Medium security prison, there is barely room to breathe. Built to hold 717 inmates, It now holds more than 5 times its capacity. The results? Overcrowding, poor living conditions, and a justice system grinding at a painful pace.
I'm a lawyer. Me pay me lawyer for my first time, but he's not attending to me.
Meet Leonard. He's been on remand for 8 years. No trial, no conviction, and no idea when or if justice would ever be served.
My CID just presented me only 3 times at court. Like my last court that I went was last year, 13th June 2024. Till now, no court, no anything.
Leonard's story is not unique. It reflects a widespread problem. Hundreds of inmates are stuck in limbo, waiting endlessly in a system stretched thin. Legal aid is scarce. Representation is a luxury.
Till now, court doesn't ask anything from me. I'm not sentenced, I'm in remand.
Kwame, just 24, is serving a 15-year sentence for robbery and assault. Now, he believes an appeal could change his fate if only someone would help him file one.
Mini lawyer. Mini scan to be my ska high bintino, court so I'm a lawyer. Minya boa for nti minya nya pay, but me proceed there magic. I say minya boa for be boa mea. Come any beje pa.
These young men are the face of a broken justice delivery system. Eastern Regional Commander of Prisons, DDP Patrick Thomas Siedu, says the facility is at a breaking point.
Yeah, hitherto to those who are the condemned cells, when they serve 10 years, they are always qualified for the grant of presidential amnesty. So over some period of time now, it has not happened. So when they serve 10 years, based on the good conduct and steady industry, they are committed to life imprisonment. The facility was built for a particular capacity. So now you know that we are overstretching the capacity of the facility. It is a challenge feeding because they are being fed on 1 cedi 80 pesos a day. And then this has persisted over a decade ago. And then we know that, what is obtained currently in the market.
Backlogs, broken systems, and forgotten lives. Until reforms come and justice finds its way behind these walls, the crisis would only deepen. Stephen Menson's report for Joy News.
Well, away from that, academic work at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is facing fresh disruptions as the ongoing nationwide strike by the Tertiary Education Workers Union Ghana begins to bite hard on campus just as students sit for their mid-semester examination. The strike declared last week over the alleged refusal of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, to recognize TEUGH's representation on universities' governing council has left critical non-teaching services at a standstill. Cleaners, posters, security personnel and other essential support staff have all laid down their tools, creating sanitation and administrative challenges across lecture halls, examination centers, halls of residence and offices. My colleague Nana Boachi Yadum has been following this story closely. He joins me live from KNUST campus. Nana, tell me, how is this affecting the mid-semester examination on campus?
Well, firstly, the mid-sem examination began today, right after TEUGH Ghana, declared their strike last week. The school has been affected severely by the strike because the lecture halls and the examination centers have all not been kept clean because these cleaners who are supposed to make sure that the places are well kept are all part of non-teaching staff who form a part of the TEUGH group who've laid down their tools. And so it has really affected them in a way that the sanitation issues on campus are very abstruse. And also security is very, very dire on campus because the security personnel also form part of the non-teaching staff and they've also laid down their tools. This does not allow students to go about their academic work, especially go and study at night. So some of the students we've been interacting with have been raising concerns about the strike today.
And how are authorities dealing with this, really?
Well, we've been able to engage the management of the KNUST. We've been able to speak to students and then TEUGH leadership. For management, this is a very unfortunate day for them because although the mid-semester was scheduled earlier, even before TEUGH Ghana decided to go on strike, this strike is not really helping because they were expecting some of the cleaners to come around and keep the various examination centers clean. But then unfortunately, that did not really happen, although TEUGH have agreed to release some of their staff to them. And also, they have been complaining about security issues on campus, and they are calling on the university, or TEUGH, I must say, to make sure that they release some of the security personnel for them to also keep the security of campus into their hands.
And then have we heard from the group itself?
Yes, we've been meeting with a group. In fact, they've been gathered at the commercial area of the KNUST since morning. As I speak to you, they are still there. They are going to be mobilizing themselves and gathering at the commercial area until their demands are met. This is to make sure that their staff or their group, none of their group members would move out and then sneak out to go and work for the university. They are strictly maintaining the fact that they are on strike and that none of their members should be released at any point in time to go and do their work. And so they're strategizing, mobilizing, and making sure that their members adhere to the strict rules laid down for the strike.
Thank you, Nanawachi, for providing us with that update. Now, away from the Ashanti region, the farming community of Nepama is appealing for help to save its only basic school from collapse. Built by villagers nearly 30 years ago, the structure is now helped by wooden pegs and closes whenever it rains. And as Sabit has more in this report.
Along the Techiman-Kintampo Highway lies the farming community of Nepama. Its future embodied in its only school, the Nepama Basic School, built by the community themselves back in the year 1994 with a hope for their children's future. 30 years on, that hope is crumbling. What you see here isn't just an old building. It is a structure being held together by sheer will and these wooden pegs, a desperate measure to stop it from falling down on the people's inside. Dudoa Da Costa is the headmaster of the school.
This school has been in existence for about 30 years. For some years now, the government has adopted the school. We have a lot of challenges in the school. As we can see from the footage, we have challenge of office, we have challenge of school building.
Behind me, these four, classroom spaces, built by the community with these wooden boards, houses from KG 1 and 2 through to primary 6. What they are doing is that they have combined, 2 classes each, KG 1 and 2, primary 1 and 2, primary 3 and 4, and then primaries 5 and 6. This is the situation, and the teachers are not happy. They say the situation is heavily affecting teaching and learning.
We do multi-grade. Multi-grade in the sense that class 6 and 5, class 4 and 3, class 2 and 1. That's how we manage things here. We command them. One teacher handling 2 classes is not easy. That one, frankly speaking, is not helping and it's not encouraging, and it does not help teaching and learning.
Well, and so that huge mango tree there is the staff common room. It serves as the office space also. But the sad aspect of the whole situation is that where to keep teaching and learning materials is a huge challenge. Each day they carry these items into the community where a member of the community has given them a space to keep them, and this is leading to the loss of many teaching and learning materials this school has over the years.
Where to even keep our school materials, especially teaching and learning materials, even the registers and other things, where to keep them is difficult. So we need school building.
The fear of rain dictates the school day, but the consequences run deeper than interrupted lessons. Some newly posted teachers reject postings due to the state of the school's structure.
Most of the times when they come, because of the school, when they see the school, it's not encouraging. Even some of us, we are only forcing.
Faced with neglect and lack of immediate help, the community isn't just waiting. Teachers and pupils are literally taking matters into their own hands. We met them upon our arrival hauling sand to try and shore up a section of the classroom floor that's given away, a stopgap measure for a crisis needing a permanent solution. The resilience of Nepanyamwe's teachers and pupils carrying sand to save their own classrooms is both inspiring and deeply troubling. This school, built on community hope 3 decades ago, is now a symbol of neglect. The pegs holding it up won't last forever. The people here have an appeal to authorities and philanthropists.
Yani atwend ya toa ako tunate ho hasabu tikes rom sin komere onsi school de mai no boy nkunja no me computer lab ne ensuana e was ye computer lab
school no say so ta won my kwa so dem anasi kofi ntino esa ban say onsi school dan mai ya pe office any pipe.
You will be very grateful when government put up a nice structure for us. We have never seen some before.
So this has been the plight of peoples here in the Nepanyamwa community. Of course, Nepanyamwa, which literally means man needs help, and this community seriously needs help, and someone somewhere watching us now needs to come to their aid to help rescue the futures of these young ones here. From Nepanyamwa, here in the Bono East region, my name is Nsawam reporting for Joy News.
While still on education, it was supposed to be just another school day, but it turned into a nightmare. 4 months after a fatal crash ripped through the lives of dozens of school children in a tragic road accident, families are still trying to piece together what's left. One of them is Letitia, just 13, now missing an arm and living with a story of grief. Stephen Mensah brings her survival story to us in this report.
Letitia was among more than 40 pupils from Ben Kunedu SDA Basic School at Konongo, Odumasi Ashanti region, on an excursion to Akosombo when tragedy struck. The bus lost control whilst descending the steep Asesiso hills between Edukrom and Somanya in the eastern region, killing 2 and injuring 15 of her mates. Investigators now say the bus had no valid insurance. The trip, once filled with excitement, ended in blood and heartbreak.
Because Omo school na mo pemasa me bon san kwalano me kwala mo remisa.
When I walk through town, children stare at me. They are curious to see what my hand looks like. I am appealing to Ghanaians to help me get my hand treated.
At just 13, Letitia has endured major surgery, lost her arm, and missed months of school.
I'm a person who is not to me, so I'm in nation. And Kano, if I better me, son, so then I'm a person selling. Nami, my bomb, madam, for this.
When the accident happened, I struggled to get up because the bus had fallen on my hand. I remember tapping my friend, hoping she would help me, but she was unresponsive too. Eventually, I was rescued, but when I regained consciousness, I found myself in a hospital bed. My hand had been amputated. She used to help me with the house chores, but now she can't.
Found the school bag. I didn't go school.
Her friend has to come home to carry her backpack so they can walk to school together. I'm pleading with Ghanaians to help me get my daughter's hand treated.
Another victim, Nanamwa, at just 11 years, has undergone 3 surgeries and numerous stitches. He's still in pain.
The driver was speeding. The next thing I saw was the car flipping onto its side.
Seat belts and glass.
I was thrown from my seat with people landing on top of me.
Help has come from the Accident Victim Support Foundation, which is helping bring some relief to the affected families. The foundation's president, Reverend Cyril Crab, is calling for more assistance for the over 30 children who sustained various degrees of injury.
We at the Accident Victim Support are doing everything humanly possible to bring some kind of solution to all road users. They have been in this state and they are traumatized. I think that we can help them. We can eradicate or we can erase this traumatized position that they find themselves in their minds by giving them a warm support.
More than 60 people were on that bus, and while the physical wounds may eventually heal, the emotional scars and the pursuit of justice remain.
Sad one there. Well, that's how we wrap up the bulletin. For more news, please log on to myjournline.com. Some top stories there. ENP gold deal, merit-based, not political favoritism. That is from Sam Jonah. You can go on myjournline and read more from that story. My name is Faustina Safa. I appreciate your company. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.